All right, ladies and gentlemen, I learned something recently, or it dawned on me at a very powerful conversation with someone in my life. And I just was like, whoa, this blows my mind. And it's going to seem like the most obvious thing ever, but the way that it was put to me was like, wait, yeah, that makes even more sense. I'm going to keep doing this, right? As human beings, which I'm a human being, so I'll use myself for an example. As human beings, as myself, when I'm up against something, when I have an objective, when I have a challenge, I tend to exhaust all of my worldly or physical options first, then go to prayer about it. I know I've heard myself say this. Maybe you've heard yourself or someone in your life say, well, dang, we've done this, we've done that, we've tried this, we've tried that. All we could do now is pray. Throughout this conversation I was having with someone in my life, they're like, yeah, that's great and all. Yeah, of course, pray, but prayer is such a weapon. Like, that should be your first instinct. Like, pray about it. Like, before you do anything, pray about it. It's a weapon, not a last resort. I was like, yo, it sounds so obvious, it sounds so simple, but at the same time, yeah, this is a weapon. We got the power of life and death in our tongue. Sometimes I'm thinking about, oh, I'm up against this, I'm up against that. Have I even taken it to Big J? Have I even spoken to my Heavenly Father and said, hey, yeah, well, I don't, hey, bro. But still, you know what I mean? It's just such a weapon. It's just such a good thing to do. Where it literally says, seek first the kingdom of heaven, all these things will be added onto you. And so it forces me to think, dang, how many times in my life, or how different would my life look if I sought first the kingdom before I made that decision, said yes to this person, said no to this person, had this come out of my mouth, sent that text, made that call. What if I prayed first? What if I got grounded in the word? What if I was seeking God first and foremost all the time, using that weapon and not leaning on it as a last resort? Just a little tidbit, a little something that I've been taking into my everyday life. And man, when I tell you, in case you don't already believe this for yourself, God is a faithful God and a prayer answerer. Like, he's been just wham, 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 just answering prayers like that. Not that he's a genie, right? Not that I'm gonna just say, all right, Lord, make this happen and yada, yada, yada. But what I've found is that I'll pray for something in faith because I genuinely believe that he can make it happen. And it may not look the way that I thought it was gonna look, but more often than not, actually pretty much every time, he exceeds my expectations. And he gives me something, he shows me something, he reveals something to me that is so much better, that is so much more fruitful than what I could have imagined or what I was expecting. So yeah, pray it out, stay prayed up. Option A is to pray, not option C, not option D. Option A